Do you have affirmation list that you continuously repeating to yourself, morning, afternoon, and night? And how's that working out for you? And big question here is it making your stress more or less? Well, my name is Lolita Gorina, I'm a stress management expert, and I tell you, daily affirmations, or mostly of continuously telling them to yourself and repeating all the time, may be actually increasing your stress than doing you any good. My name is Lolita Gorina, I'm a stress management expert. So here's the deal. And if you're new to affirmations, what does that mean? Basically, it's just a statement, then you will tell yourself over and over. That starts with I am, because it's very important to say that that's who you are. And then attach some sort of thing that you want to manifest about yourself or your goals. And, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and all of that. So here is the big deal that happens. If you repeat something, it should feel like it's supposed to show up in your life. But here's the deal. If you don't believe those affirmations, they're not going to show up. You can say whatever you want. I basically think affirmations or the whole act of saying affirmations is like a mental yoga. You may be going through notions, but you may not experience anything good and maybe even making you feeling stressed. Because if you continuously doing something over and over and over, but you don't see results, I mean, when I started saying affirmations, that totally really made me angry because I was thinking I'm investing all this time and this energy and this is going to show up. Well, things were not really showing up. Because you see what happens? It's not about what you say, but it's about how you feel when you're saying that. That's why, well, yoga does not solve all the issues in your life because it's all about your mental state, right? Stress, it starts there between your two ears. But let's just address the first issue. Why are you stressing out? That is number one thing. That is the wound that you need to address. Because I think meditation, yoga, writing all those journals, affirmations, this is just like a bandage that you're putting on the wound that's bleeding right now. Sure, it solved the issue for now. It helped the wound some, but it still need to be addressed. And that is why I want to talk about specifically about affirmations. Because if you continuously saying something yourself, something like, let's say, I am rich, I'm a millionaire, but then deep down you don't believe it, the worse if that triggers you and it reminds you when you were a child and somebody told you you're a loser and somebody did not appreciate what you have to say and people were laughing at you and telling you that you need to shut up and sit down and you will never finish college and all of that negative talk. And specifically, that happened before you turned 7 years old. This is all sitting as your patterns. And you can tell yourself as many affirmations as you want to. That's not going to change. We hold on to our patterns, to things that we learned because that serves us in our survival. We will be continuously repeating the same patterns because that's keeping us alive, right? When I was researching about my book about stress management, mostly, one of those books over here, I found this very fascinating that there was research done. This is basically when there is a situation and you start stressing out and you survive. Let's say you sit in traffic and you get super anxious because you're late to work. But then, finally you get to work and days continues. What happens is that you remember this anxiety and you tell yourself, kind of subconscious, okay, next time when we are in a situation that we cannot control it, we're going to stress out and we're going to be all anxious. And this is how we're going to handle it because the last time when we were in this stressful situation, we got all anxious and worried, and that worked because you see, it worked, we survived. So next time we'll get in a situation where we cannot control it, we're going to pump it up the anxiety because that's what helps us to survive. When I heard this first time, I was like, are you kidding me? That does not work. We're all stressed out and burn out and all this. Yes, exactly. It's all about the survival. So that's why it's crucial for us to learn how to manage our emotions, how to self regulate, how to manage that anxiety that it looks like shows up out of nowhere. That's what we need to focus on. So if you will be continuously repeating yourself some affirmations, and suddenly you feel this trigger of anxiety and worry, and it looks like you don't know where it's coming from, well, it's coming from your experiences before you experienced and survived. That's why those childhood traumas, we continuously, well, keeping them in the pocket because they apparently somehow served us. I think the sad part is that we as an adults, and I'm assuming was watching as an adult, we continue the same patterns from the childhood because naturally we have a tendency to still hang out with our family members. So we still have this child mentality. You just ask yourself, when you're visiting your parents, do you feel like an adult? I personally, I just become this 3 years old immediately as soon as I step into my parents' house. And guess what? All of that triggers all of those patterns, all of the things that we learn, all the hurts, all the pains, and all the same feeling sad about yourself and not having enough self-esteem to have any boundaries. And we carry this in our adult life. So that's why it's very important for you to tell yourself those affirmations, but then listen in. How's your body feels? Hmm. How's your mind feels? Do you feel worried? Do you feel anxious? Or do you feel at ease? Because if there is something in that statement that tells you really the opposite of how you feel about yourself, you will not allow yourself that statement to come true because you will be loyal to your patterns that, well, look like they're not really serving you, but deep down they are serving you because, well, you survived. A lot of times when we come from childhood trauma, what happens is that we learn to kill ourselves in order to survive. That's just how I say it. Obviously, not literally, but we will allow other people to hurt us because we know we need to belong. So I'm inviting you, and if you will be so courageous, actually look in your childhood and say, okay, take your affirmation list that you created, if you have one, and then you say, all right, how that makes me feel? And if I say, I'm a millionaire, then ask yourself, well, how was your family talking about having money? Is that a good thing? Were they telling you that, yes, you can do this, you're so smart, you're one of the people that will finish college and go and succeed in life? Or they were saying, well, nobody in our family went in college, so you're not going anywhere either. You're just loser just like us. Because you're loyal to your herd, that's what they say, we live in herds, you will be holding yourself back. Also, on top of that, change is very stressful. So if you came already from the environment that you super hyper vigilant about any change, if you grew up in the environment, for example, like me, my dad was an alcoholic, I don't know what to expect every single day. So any change, it will immediately trigger anxiety. So when you tell yourself an affirmation that, okay, now I'm rich and all of this, but you actually don't feel like you're rich and you come from an environment that you were not rich, that is a change that you mentally will hold yourself back from any change because you think change is not safe. And then there's something else. Yes, you probably already heard, there's so many people afraid of success and all this because we believe that, well, those that love us now, they will be offended and they will feel like they left behind. Hence, we don't want to leave the village. We don't want to leave those people that we love. And hence, we will stay where we are. So you can tell yourself as many times as you want that affirmation that you're a millionaire. But if it's not feeling right to you, worse, if this triggers your stress more, and then the loyalties, especially if you grew up in the environment where you were invalidated constantly and there was some sort of addiction involved by people in the household. And basically what I'm saying, you never were loved and appreciated consistently or ever. That's going to be very daunting for you to change anything into your life. But the sad part is that those kids that were emotionally abused like that, they even become more loyal because anytime when someone tells them anything good or pay attention to them, it feels like, wow, finally I was so thirsty and now I get to drink something. And then we get addicted to that. I mean, this is like survival. You're like, I rather have something once in a while than nothing at all. And sadly, that's how we do in our adult life with bad jobs, bad relationships, anything that's hurting us, but we're still holding on because of that loyalty, because of survival. So that's why affirmations a little bit could be stressful. And like I say, do not bulldoze yourself into success. You can. I mean, you can repeat that stuff as much as you want to, but you need to start addressing the wounds that are really underneath there and have enough courage to dig there. Definitely, I recommend you to talk to a therapist about what happened to you before. But if you're looking forward to the future, I will recommend hiring a coach. Hey, I know one. You're welcome to go to my website, beamazingyou.com, and book a session with me. But here's the thing: affirmations and the wounds underneath. Yes, there's something that I use a lot, and I recommend my clients my calm process that I invented myself. And the calm stands for something, and every letter means something specifically as well. So C stands for control. You need to know what you control, what you cannot control. A is for appreciation and acceptance. L is for limiting what doesn't work for you. M is for multiplying. And if you're wondering, okay, well, sounds great. Yeah, okay, well, but what am I gonna do with this? I can talk about this for hours, but because you're listening in today, and thank you. So if you're still listening to me right here, I'm giving you an access to my free course just on that, on my online membership. So all of this in the description below. I even have a special code for you where you can claim that course 100% free. My gift to you. And look at your affirmation list. Is it even a good idea to have it? Absolutely, because that should be a guide. But when you write that list, pay attention how they make you feel, and then heal that underlying anxiety, pain, and worry, and all that kind of stress. And then your affirmations will work. If you need help with that, you know where to find me. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do so.